clothes, you know you look good. Now the question is, do you smell good? So I need everyone in this place to do me a favor and put one arm high up in the sky. Come on, everybody, arm up. Old people in the back, arm up. Up top. All right. Now I need you to lean over and smell your armpit. I smell your neighbor's armpit. Put your arms around your neighbor's just like this, y'all. And somebody say, oh. Come on, let's swing to the music tonight like family. It's a recognition this day and age. To read any good news on the newspaper page. Say love and tradition of a grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. Come on. As things go by, you still pick up love, family. That sounded absolutely horrible. But if you love Jesus, somebody give him a shout of praise. Come on, let's rock in here, let's rock in here. Like my fat grandmama in a rocking chair. Let's rock in here, hip hop on here. Lift up your hands for the gospel, yeah. This year is only a test to see who's on my team. If you're young and in love with Jesus, then would you please jump in that for the gospel? Put your hands back for my Savior. Say no, 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 no. Say no, 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 no. Okay, okay. Boy, didn't see, but I'm free like OJ. So I get it in like Frida Lindsay. Oh yeah, even MC for sure, but there's no big Reverend got my check direct thoughts of the ignorant. We did truth to reach Scribbling. Listeners, listen up. This is more than music. We live this stuff. Christ first. I keep my life. My wife likes to keep a tight purse under her armpit. My husband on some folks that go all out for him. Let me ask my generation, are you a dancing generation? You need a little preparation. On the count of 3, we dance like David. Come on, put your hands up high and then swing from side to side. Let's rock. Come on, let's fly. All people, come on, say la 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 la. Say la 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 la. Now, for all the folks who think it's all hype and not about Christ, then please redirect your eyes to my life, man. You'll find that I'm a guy that's been to live with a mud, so they not giving a chance. I'm a dancing kind of run like this and like that. A little boost, new booty, and I'm right on back, like white on Michael Jackson. I'm back to home, my throne is jacked. Cause I heard that Christ comes first. Listen, my words are quite like this. So listen, Remnant. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in love with Jesus in this place. Anybody else? Okay, let me get back in the mix and back this You mean to tell me I am in a room full of young people and young adults and old people who truly believe that Jesus Christ alone is... Well, if you believe that Jesus is everything that he said he is, then my second question to a room full of young people is this. How many of you then are willing to do whatever it takes to stand in the gap for your generation? Well, this song's for you. Say, this is for the militant, the war crying, pro-life picketers. For my college-age Christian that apologetically ain't afraid to get it in. It's my junior high gentlemen that love God and mirror him like a synonym. For my frontline and ministers of truth and love that'll tell Lucifer that you can't have them, no, you can't have them, you can't have them, no, you can't have them. So, if you're standing in the gap, put your fist in the air, tell them to back, cause you can't have them, no, you can't have them, you can't have them, no, you can't have them. Sure as Jesus is alive, this generation will live and not die. I know the outcome. They got my back up, like young Malcolm. Baby, we're strapped up. This is the anthem. Young revivalists, put those hands up. God's about to handle this. So we make more, we make room, we stay pure. Here's your breakthrough. I feel it in my bones like Jeremiah, no liar. So tired of them cold liars. When my papa be the bold lion, sucker come trying and get rolled up. So what's a Jay-Z, Kanye, Gaga, hey, blah, blah. You don't like it, so what? You can pray for their salvation, still hate when they make it. But while they're in defiance, we cannot buy it. So we draw the line and cry into the fire like you can't have them. No, come on, so you can't have them. No, you can't have them. If you're standing in the gap, put your fist in the air, say it back, say you can't have them, no, you can't have them, you can't have them, no, you can't have them. Sure as Jesus is alive, this generation will live and not die. You shall not die. I don't think you heard me tonight. I said, although we look on the news and we hear teenagers walking into elementary schools and murdering innocent babies, although there are millions of young people being raised in this nation without a father, although the abortion rate amongst teenage girls is skyrocketing higher and higher each year, although sometimes even as a believer, as a minister of the gospel, I look at our broken world, and in my weakness, I feel like just looking to heaven and asking God, where are you at? But I've come here tonight to remind a generation that it's in those moments when it seems like all has gone to hell, that I have to choose to take my eyes off of my situation and circumstance. And baby, when I turn my gaze back upon the face of Jesus, I'm reminded of what he has declared and decreed over a generation that they said would not amount to anything. You better hear me tonight. You shall surely live and you... Now, young man, you will not die. Sweetheart, you will live to declare the power of who your Lord and Savior is. Because the truth of the matter is this: we're leaving this weekend so filled up. How many of you know tonight that we are only filled up simply so that we can pour right back out? You know, homie, there is a broken world outside of these four walls that desperately needs to know that there's a God in heaven who loves them. A God that has a plan for their lives. It's all around us, broken people. In fact, as I prepare to do this last song, right before we go into worship tonight, I want you to know 3 years ago that God wrecked my heart and my wife's heart for an issue. The issue of human trafficking. Wave at me if you've heard about it. We've all heard about it. Well, it was 3 years ago I sat in my church pew and I wept out of brokenness for these 27 million people who are living in captivity. And I knew in that moment that God was going to use my wife and I to start something, to do something to fight this injustice. And just last year we started a campaign called Death to Chains. And it's an effort to fight human trafficking utilizing music and art. Because how many of you know that music and art is the language of this generation? You know what, tonight I want you to know I have children. And they say that the average age of a traffic victim is as young as 12 years old. That means statistically there are babies as young as 7 and 8 who are forced to do things that you and I could never imagine in a lifetime. And I'm telling you tonight that that breaks the heart of God. But you know what? I just might be the only crazy one in here to believe that my God is strong enough. I believe that my God is big enough. I believe that my God is powerful. I believe that He can bring an end to this injustice. And not only that, but I believe He can do it using a generation of young people who are willing to stand in the gap for those who are broken and those who are living in bondage. I believe that. So listen, tonight I just want to encourage you at the end of the service. If you stop by my table, you'll see a CD. It's called Death to Chains Beta. I encourage you to pick this CD up. On the inside, it'll tell you all about the vision. I don't have time to get into it right now, but it will tell you about the vision of this campaign and what we desire to do. But for right now, I want to share this last song. And at the end of the song, we're going to lift our hands toward our Father, and we're going to cry out to God to bring an end to this injustice. Can we do that tonight, Remnant? Is that cool with y'all? Can we do that tonight? Song is Death to Chains.
Innocence, birthed in the beauty of blamelessness, a childlike faith and curiosity, believing the best in humanity. Identified, described as an image of purity, the beauty of this rare thing found in society. Innocence, pictured or personified in imagery, captivated by what possesses simplicity, joy found in the littlest of things, like running barefoot in freshly clean-cut grass on a perfect day in spring. The adventure that awaits and what each day may bring. Loving life and the pleasure of discovering something new. The sight of what a far-off cloud looks like against a beautiful shade of sky blue. Life is satisfying. Time lost in the imagination of pretending to be a famous star, a superhero, powerful, unstoppable. And all my dreams, they all apply with friends and family. Yeah, that all sounds perfect to me. I believe someday that will be my destiny. I imagine that to be the life waiting for me. My happily ever after.
She's 13 and only dreams and nightmares. Black and white, there's no color or light there. Yeah, no hope, no hugs, no kisses, no love, cause life don't fight fair. Yeah, you listen real close, you could hear a night cry going through the night's air. Longing for the morning, only to find the nightmare she fights every night is still right there. The blood and the blows from the fist, the cold of the drugs as they're forced in the system, forced to perform for a forum of men that she's learned that she lies still in the pain. not as intensive. The princess is going missing. Just a small child hurting and defenseless. But she knows that the beauty of a rose springs forth from the dirt, and through the hurt she whispers.